Welcome back to the show. We're now joined by running back Mike Boettcher and defensive back Shane Dierking. Guys, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Mike,
let's start with you. 4 touchdowns on the day, a single game record. Were you expecting that kind of day on the field?
Absolutely not. I mean, I kind of thought that I'd get more playing time just because I knew that Jordan and Nick were a little banged up. But I was kind of surprised that they just kind of kept coming. I guess the offensive line was doing a great job, and receivers did a fantastic job. Downfield blocking and stuff like that. I mean, it was just all around great.
3 of the top 7 rushers in the CCIW are all Cardinals. What does that say about your depth? And not only that we have good runners, but you guys are able to get the receivers blocking downfield and the offensive linemen blocking well.
Well, I think that's pretty awesome, but I think it just kind of goes right to the coaches. I would say, Coach Tom Sulo and Coach Spencer and Coach Stafford was just, all their schemes and all the technique that we've gone over the whole time. I would say that it has to go to them.
Shane, another big day for the defense. You guys only give up 1 defensive touchdown on a big play, but you guys would like to have that one back.
Yeah, that was a rough play, especially because it came so late in the game, and it was on a play that we definitely could have stopped. Our technique broke down, and we've been killing screen plays this whole year. No one's ran screens on us, and it really, for that to happen, it was tough to see.
Well, Milliken's got a really elusive quarterback in Matt Holmes. He actually led the conference in rushing touchdowns, but you guys were able to contain him. How does that prepare you for Wesleyan's passing offense with Rob Gallick, who's leading the conference in efficiency this year?
Yeah, he was a great athlete. He came around the edge a few times, and I didn't know he was that fast, so I really had to get on my high horse. But he read the field well, but you could tell that when we had Willie and Valente and Pete coming, he would take 2 shots at his receivers downfield and then just tuck it and run. So we're hoping that this week we can get good pressure. Gallick, I played against him in high school at St. Rita. He's a real smart quarterback. He sees the defense's leverage and makes his decisions off that, and he's a great player, and we'll just have to defend him like we did against Holmes this past week.
You sharing any secrets with your fellow defenders about how to contain him from high school?
I talked to Coach Ponks a little bit about what happened in the Wheaton South game a few years ago, and he took some notes down, but we'll see. He's a much improved quarterback since then with quarterback's coach. I think it's Tyler Dickens' uncle, Billy Dickin. He seems like he's become a lot better, and that jump from high school to college, you can really tell.
Coach, your next 4 games feature the 3 top passing teams in the CCIW. How does that change the way you guys game plan?
Well, we're just excited to play 3 really great teams in our conference right in a row like that late in the season. This is when the excitement should just keep building every week. But they do throw the ball a lot, and so that adds a whole new dimension to what we need to work on defensively. We've been working on these things all year long, especially after the Redlands game, and so we just can't wait to get started with this stretch of 3 games. It's going to really be fun.
Shane, how important is it for all 11 guys on the defense to get after the quarterback to be effective?
Oh yeah, it's every week. Coach Ponks tells us that the D-line is the key to the game, no matter who we're playing. If they don't get the pass rush, then the back 7 suffers. If we don't cover, then they don't get their sacks. So it all comes hand in hand.
Well, the Cardinals may have a big conference rivalry game on Saturday against Illinois Wesleyan, but there was a rivalry game that took place in Naperville this past weekend that had special meaning to 2 Cardinal running backs. We have the story in this week's Cardinal Corner. When Naperville Central and Naperville North High School play each other every fall on the gridiron, the atmosphere at Benedetti Worley Stadium is electric, with hundreds of Naperville fans coming out to witness the contest between the 2 schools located less than 2 miles apart from each other, and a rivalry that goes much further than the football field.
Every sport, from swimming to football to girls badminton, there's some rivalry.
I mean, it's always friendly rivalry, North versus Central, always the classic Naperville competition, but we definitely practice for it. We definitely put all of our time and effort into making it, the best show every year.
I would say every sport, every student at Central knows about the rivalry, and it's something that has been here forever, and I think will always stay.
The fans weren't disappointed as Naperville Central won a hard-fought game 36-26, thanks to more than 250 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns from senior running back Matt Randolph. But 2 fans that weren't able to make it to the game were North Central running backs Nick Kukoc and Jordan Tassio. Nick was a standout running back at Central, while Jordan played quarterback on a Husky team that would win the 2007 state title. Now the 2 former competitors and unlikely friends share snaps in the same backfield.
I never would have thought we would have played together. He ended up going to Division I school. Never thought I'd get to play him again, and next thing you know, we're on the same team.
When we both were in the backfield, it was like we never would have thought this would happen at the same time. We're both in the backfield, like 2 rival players going in the same backfield now. It's pretty funny, but it's worked out really well, and I feel like we complement each other.
The tandem has worked well for the Cardinals. Last season, the 2 combined for more than 1,700 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns, giving defenses difficulty in game planning for both backs.
Well, it's good because we're like change of pace back. You know, he goes in, they're expecting him to do one thing, then I go in, and they're expecting a totally different thing.
Jordan's experience at quarterback in high school give the Cardinals a number of different backfield options to throw at the opposition. And the opposition this weekend is CCIW rival Illinois Wesleyan.
Right now, this is pretty much a CCIW championship game, so it's always a good match, regardless of the records of both teams.
They're always a really good team. They're undefeated this season, and they got a lot at stake. We got a lot at stake. This is basically like a playoff game for us, so it's going to be a very intense atmosphere. It's going to be heated.
After experiencing the atmosphere of the Naperville North and Naperville Central rivalry, Jordan and Nick should be able to stand the heat.
So, Mike, what's it like carrying the load with 2 backs like Jordan Tassio and Nick Kukoc?
It's a good feeling, I guess. It's nice to be able to get the ball a few more times, I guess.
And it seems like you guys are always out there rooting for each other, trying to make each other better.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, every time anyone comes off the field, we're always right there, asking them, what they thought that they could have done better, or, telling them, little tips that we might have saw. Anytime we see the ball kind of come out from their body, then, we're always telling them that. It's just kind of like, a good brotherhood, kind of a camaraderie between us.
And with the Titans giving up only 115 yards on the ground per game, we might need all 3 of you this week.
Oh, I hope so.
Shane, the Titans lead the CCIW in 3rd down and 4th down conversions. What's the defense going to do to get after them on those late downs?
We just have to mix up our schemes while doing the same things. Everyone just says that we have the same defense, but we show different appearances to the same defense. We just have to mess with their offensive line, mess with their quarterback, get them to think that we're doing something else than we're really doing. So just keeping them off guard.
And the team gets a return touchdown from Caleb Bednarz this week. How much fun is that watching one of your fellow return men, get the ball in the end zone?
I've been watching Caleb do that since he was probably 7 or 8 years old, because he went to Wheaton Warrenville South with me, and I've been buddies with him growing up. So he always played before me when we were in our youth league for Rams, and I don't know how many return touchdowns he has throughout his lifetime, but it's got to be close to 100.
Well, you used to be a return man. Did you ever give him some pointers?
He's a lot better at it than me. Let's just say that.
Well, the Cardinals actually lead the conference in sacks and interceptions. How important is it to get that pressure and takeaways?
Yeah, like I said before, the guys up front make those takeaways possible. Without them getting that kind of pressure, quarterbacks, if they have all day to throw, they're going to pick us apart. As a back 7, we rely on the D linemen.
Coach, how important are those takeaways and special teams returns, to change the momentum of a game?
Well, takeaways are the most important thing of any ball game. We've got to hang on to the ball, Mike and the rest of the running backs, and we can't throw picks. But the more takeaways that the defense can get, just the chance of winning just grows in huge numbers, huge percentage numbers. So those things are gigantic. And of course, we love special teams with the Cardinals. We really love to try to make special teams entertaining for the fans. And so the guys this year are doing a really great job. We've had a couple of special teams touchdowns we had to give back, and unfortunately, we would have even more than we already do. But they're big, both things, and the most important one though is turnovers.
Now, you had to give those touchdowns back because of penalties, and that's a category you really don't want to lead in. But the Cardinals have had some problems with penalties this year. How have you guys been working to change that?
Well, we want our kids to play full speed and play hard and fast. And sometimes they're so excited about wanting to do the job that they are not backing off. So we're getting some holding calls. We're getting a block in the back when we should have, held up, and some of those kinds of things. But we're going to get better as the year goes along. When last year in the playoffs, we hardly ever got called for more than 4 penalties per game. It's just in our conference, it seems like we get called for quite a few.
Everybody wants to take down the top dog, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mike, a big game this weekend against Illinois Wesleyan. What's the offensive game plan heading in?
Just pound it right down the throat, basically. Just run the ball, just smash mouth football. Hopefully use all the running backs and just try to wear them down on defense.
Sort of picking up where you left off last week, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
So, second game for Tyler Dierking, the young quarterback. How do you think he looks out there?
I think he looks pretty good. He's every single time, every game he improves. Every day in practice he improves. I think he's done a really good job reading the defenses and just making overall good decisions.
Well, Coach, Shane, Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we have Clark Tuscher stopping by to keep the Red Zone up to date on all North Central athletics. Don't go away.